25 minutes, guys, I'm going to share with you guys a plan that we've been running for a while. One thing I've learned in network marketing is that, it's all about your story, right? Yes or yes?
Yes.
And, the sexier the story, the more appealing it is, right? And there's things you can do for that. And the things are, it's urgent, massive action. There's no shortcuts. I'm not here to tell you, I'm not going to tell you something that you're like, breakthrough. I'm probably going to tell you things you've heard already. I'm just going to show you how to compress it and run it so that you can win, guys. What I've learned in this industry, I always wanted to find that secret, right? I attended so many seminars, I bought all those programs, I bought all those online things. I mean, I've spent so much money on so much stuff, you guys have no clue. I'm embarrassed to tell people what I've done. And I share that with you because, I'm always searching for that extra edge, that extra answer, right? Anybody else like me? No? Yeah. Nobody wants to admit it? But I share that with you because, guys, we have, what I believe is, success does not happen by chance, it happens by design. Success does not happen by chance, it happens by design. I'm going to share with you a plan that has worked for us when we came here. This is basically what I ran, that first 45-day run, and we're about to do it again. And I'll tell you, the first time we did it, it was on pure belief, excitement, everything. This time, we're really moved up, right? We came to this event, just talking to people, the stories, everybody's belief level is elevated a couple notches. Yes or yes? Yes. So I share that with you because, what I'm going to share with you guys is what you got to do. This is a plan that if you want to run 20K in the next 45 days, this is what you're going to have to do, right? Some of you may have to do a little bit less, some will have to do a little bit more, right? I'm going to give you the idea so you guys understand it. And I also will tell you that if you're already at 20K and you want to go a little bit further, then this is what you have to duplicate within your group to go to 50, to go to 100, to go to 200, and beyond. You guys with me? Yep. Yes or yes? Yes. So number one, I'm a firm believer that when people sign up, the first and most important thing they must do is go through that getting started training. Right then and there. Unfortunately in this industry, guys, most people quit before they get their kick. It's a sad but honest truth. It is what it is. So one thing I've realized is as soon as somebody signs up, you've got to train them. You've got to walk them through the steps. You've got to walk them through what's the next step, right? And it's watching that getting started training. In that getting started training, there's a couple things you got to focus on. Apart from all the things that are on it, there's some things you got to do right then and there. And the first thing I'd say is you got to make their list. When you sit down with someone, guys, you got to take out that cell phone and say, who do you know? From A through Z, who's Alex, who's Brenda, who's Carlos, who's David, who's Eddie, who's Frank, you got to go and you've got to help them make that list. Because this is what I know, if you don't do it with them, they're not going to do it, right? When are people most excited? When they first sign up, right? They're fired up, they're excited, right? They see it. What happens a couple days later? Life, thinking, right? Doubt, law of diminishing intent, right? These are laws you cannot fight, so run with them, right? If the reality is that most people will go through that process, why not get them going and help them have the best chance of success by having urgency, okay? So I'm laying the groundwork for what I'm going to share. So I want you guys to, hopefully you guys are writing some of this stuff down, because these are $1 million nuggets. I've failed miserably, guys. I've wanted this bad enough for so many years, and I used to cry and pray and be depressed, and then I found out how simple this was. I just have to follow the steps and be urgent with them and not skip one, okay? So I share that with you because, as soon as you sign that person up, you're going through that, right? You make that list. Sit down with them, make that list. Number two, book that party. And guys, I don't care, Matt mentioned earlier, somebody has a dirty house, a small house, or whatever. Guys, if it's not their house, where do they meet people? If they were to watch a movie with someone, where do they go? Maybe it's their uncle's house, maybe it's their church, maybe it's Starbucks, maybe it's Panera Bread, maybe it's, I don't know what it is, but what is it, right? Identify it. That's our job, right? And then number three, guys, you've got to set up a time to call people so that this party is successful. You guys with me? You've got to set up a time within the next 24, 48 hours to make phone calls with them. This is what happens. You sign somebody up, you tell them what to do, and guess what happens? They don't do it. Let's talk reality, right? Someone gets signed up and now they got to call people. That phone weighs like 1,000,000 pounds. Anybody with me? Yeah. It's like, you're all excited, yeah, and it just, it doesn't happen. So if you're there with them, number one, you know it's going to get done, so you're there with them. Number two, if they get one of those, oh my God, I can't believe, if they get some sort of a bomb or some sort of a boom, right? Some family member says, I can't believe it. And something that would knock them out or shatter them, you're there to coach them. You're there to tell, hey, I've had a bunch of those. You know who that person is? That's the first person that's going to call you when they see you lost some weight, when they see you that you got the car, when they see you got the big check. Right now, it's not their timing. But you know what? They're going to call you, and you're going to have the option to say, well, it's too late. Nobody else can come in. You have that option because, guys, understand what we do here at Leanboy. And just, what this is all about. Our job is to share a message, and in the process, sift and sort and find the ones that are open, that are ready, willing, and able to take action. When? Now. He may be, what's your name? Nathan. Nathan may be the perfect guy, right? I mean, he's got influence, and whatever he does, everybody follows him. I mean, this is the idea. He's a leader. I mean, if he got this, he'd take over town, right? But if it's not the right timing in his life, you can't be, doing all that kind of stuff, right? It's not the right timing. Move on. The best thing you can do for people is to keep on sharing, because people are watching you. There's a little thing called, I don't have it because they're recording. There's a little thing called, anybody have a smartphone? Oh, you can. Why do people have these phones? Because everybody has inquiring minds, and people want to know. People are scrolling through the newsfeed, not by coincidence. They want to know, right? So people are watching you guys. Once you share a message, they're watching it. Eventually, they'll come around. So I share that with you because you've got to be there. You've got to make those calls with them, right? So this is what I know. And I'm giving you some fundamentals before I give you the game plan. Is that okay? Yes? Yes. So this is what I know. One good party, one good one, equals 2K VA. One good party. Now, what's a good party? Is it somebody who signed up and they said, I'm going to go 2K, let's do a party on Tuesday, and you show up there and nobody's there? No. Is it a party that you go to that you probably help this person make 15 to 25 phone calls and know that there's 5 to 10 people interested? What's more likely to be a good party? This or, the crapshoot, right? Let's see what happens, right? This. So all I'm telling you guys is success happens by design, not by chance. You've got to take ownership of your business. This is your business. You can't just sign people up and say, ooh, maybe they'll figure it out. You've got to run it with them. You with me? Yep. Yes or yes? Yes. I know it's late. Everybody's looking at me. It's either my funny English or it's late, right? So this is important, guys. This is important. So if one good party equals 2K or $2,000, right? 20K is 10 good parties. You guys with me? Yep. So what if some are not good parties? We're going to do more, right? You guys with me? That's the X factor. I don't know, right? If you are not running this, so let me explain to you what's worked for me. I'm a systems person. Guys, I failed miserably. I used to explain the comp plan. I used to explain the product. I knew more science than scientists. I mean, I'm that guy. I just started looking at it. I have this ADD complex of obsessive compulsive of finding things out. When I saw Foucault and I was 1,200 studies, I almost went through the whole thing. So I'm that guy, but that doesn't duplicate. You guys with me? Yep. Network marketing is a business of duplication. If people can't do what you did, they're not doing it. People don't have time to learn. If people feel like, only people with that personality can do it, you're not going to duplicate. That's why you see a lot of people bring a lot of people, but they can't get some duplication, right? So, guys, anybody can duplicate themselves, but you got to be aware. You guys with me? No, I think I hit some people. Everybody. Okay, so let me go to, and I'm sorry because this thing's all over the place. Let me go to the process that has worked for me for a long time, and I'll explain the logic. And then we're going to give you the game plan, and I'm going to bring up Matt. Number one, this party process, right? The pre-party process, where you're calling people. And by the way, I have a video on this that you guys can see after, and we're recording this. But number one, when you call folks, guys, you're going to call these people, you're going to connect to them. When you're going to connect to them, you got to call somebody up and say, hey, how's it going, right? How's family? How's work? Did you guys go anywhere for Christmas, right? And in that process, you're going to find out what's going on with the person. We call that form, right? When you connect with someone. And that's basically finding out what's going on in their life, right? And then once you find out everything's, you've connected with the person, then ask them, hey, have you heard about the limo experience? Is that a hard question? No. Guys, this little question, having a question to ask has worked for me extremely well. I mean, it's working for our team very well right now, but I've been doing this for years. Because all I do is I ask a question. So I expose people to what limo is, right? Have you heard about the limo experience? 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 So when somebody says no, I say, hey, if I send you a link that has a video that tells you what it's about, what do you think you can watch it? So this person's going to see a video. I tend to send the origins and the experience video. I have a website called Go Watch It Now. It's just a site that has videos. GoWatchItNow.com. I send the link. I just have them watch it. I say, hey, I'll call you in 20 minutes. Or I'll call you tonight at, when do you think you'll watch it? 8 o'clock? Perfect. I'll call you at 8:20. Right? So I set the time to follow up. And so when we follow up, the question is, what did you like best about what you just saw? Right? They saw a video. What did you like best about it? So what do you think people are going to say? One of three things. Number one, nothing. Well, that's one thing. One thing they can say is nothing, right? And that's a polite way, right? Has anybody ever had somebody just say nothing? Nothing else? Just nothing? Number two, they could say the product, right? They might say, hey, tell me about that energy drink. Tell me about the shake. What's that original? I mean, it looks, tell me more about that, right? Number three, they could say everything, right? Money. If somebody says money, it's everything, right? Product and money, right? So if those are the three options, right? If they say nothing, or I'm not interested, right? This is somebody you know, right? These are people you're calling. These people that you've talked to, right? After they've seen the video, they know what it's about. So my question to them is, Nathan, hey, I understand it's not for you, but help me out. If you were to do this, I know you're not, but if you were, who would you call? So guess what Nathan's doing? He's dropping his guard because he's not selling me anything. He's not selling me anything. However, I need to help him out. I mean, why wouldn't I help him out, right? He's a nice guy, whatever. He just shared something. It was cool, but it's not for me, right? I don't do those things. But now, all of a sudden, he gives you, Tom and, George and I don't know who, a couple people. And two things can happen. Number one, Nathan might say, wow, if I give Freddy, Tom, and George, these guys are go-getters. How does that work again? Fear loss. I think Matt said on stage, right? It happens all the time. Or he gives me 3 good leads or 4 good leads. And hey, those people will probably respect me more because they don't know who I am. You guys with me? Yes? Yes. Number 2, if he says products, right? If he says products. And I'm being generic here to not spend 3 hours on Limu and all that stuff. If he says products, you can say which one, right? Which one? Which one did you like? Original. Really? Well, let's get you started. Guys, right then and there, you can sign them up. You can go to your website, let's take your order, let's take your information, or go to my website, right? If he has some product questions, or has some questions, that's where you want to do a 3-way call. And I'm going to go into 3-way calls now, right? When somebody's starting out, that's why I think you should be there the first 15, 20, 30 calls, because you can help them with those calls right then and there, right? You're there with them. If he says, I want to try the product, well, what do you do? Invite him to your party. Yeah, Nathan has a party on Tuesday night. Say, hey, listen, I have a party on Tuesday night, come by so you can try the products. Right? Make sense? Yes. Yeah. What if he says everything? He says the opportunity. Right? I say, great. Say opportunity. I want to make some money. I like the BMW, right? Well, great. Let's sign you up. Go to my website, sign up. If he says, no, I have a few questions, right? You do a 3-way. I'm going to show you how to do 3 ways, by the way, but I want to get to that. And then the third thing he could say is, well, I want to go to a meeting. I want to see, I want to see some people that are doing it. I want to see the flow of it. I want to see if it's something I feel comfortable doing. Say, perfect. I have a party on Tuesday, 7 o'clock. You know my address. Come on by. And oh, by the way, can you bring me a bag of ice? Anybody ever done that before? Guys, this is what the bag of ice does. It doesn't cost any money. It's just a pain in the butt to go to the gas station and take it out, right? But you can't have a party without a bag of ice. And if we're friends, he's thinking, man, if I don't take him a bag of ice, the party's that, I gotta go, right? So it kind of, commits them to making sure they go, right? They don't say, I'll call them the next day. Because remember, the person you're talking to, they don't understand how important this is. They don't understand how big of a deal it is, right? So all of a sudden you say, that's important, right? Now I will tell you, there will be, if you use that a lot, you will have funny situations. We've had situations where we've done parties and, a lot of people bring a bag of ice. In one case, I'll never ever forget because it was the most hilarious one I've ever experienced. There was a house that everybody that would come in would pass through the kitchen and go to the living room where the TV was and all that stuff. And a bunch of people came in, and the last person that came in, I guess was holding the bag for a while. So they were like, like their hands were like frozen, so they're trying to pat their hands down to like warm up. So when the person sits down, the person in front of him says, "Oh, you brought a bag of ice?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh, me too." And then, "I brought a bag of ice. I brought a bag of ice." 7 people I brought a bag of ice. You can imagine. Everybody signed up that day, but I can tell you, they let us have it. I mean, we were laughing for like 20 minutes. I mean, it was nonstop. One of the things I've realized in this business, if you're not having fun, you're doing it wrong. If you're not having fun, you're doing it wrong. I'm not saying you have to laugh all the time and stuff like that, but guys, what do we do here? We share a message, we impact people. Our job is to share the experience, right? With the intent to leave people better off than we found them from a health and financial perspective, right? So I share that with you because obviously, what we do here, guys, it's fun, right? It's fun in that sense because we know that if people see this, if people get it, not only can they improve their health, but man, they can also improve their finances and take control. You guys with me? Yep. Make sense? So guys, this is the process. The 3-way calls, guys, this is what I'll tell you. If you're starting someone new, be there with them. Let them hand over the phone. If somebody has a question, that's a great question. I'm new at this, let's find out. The people respect that, you might be new or you might not be an expert. And there's a power of a third party that is just beyond comprehension. When somebody hears from somebody else, all of a sudden they're like, oh, And guys, this business is built upon 3-way calls. People hearing from someone that's not you. Even if you're the expert, somebody that's not you. I have to do them, Matt's got to do them, all of you have to do them, okay? So the 3-way call is not, hey, can I put you on the phone with this guy that's very successful? Or hey, can I? No, nobody wants to be on the phone with somebody that's going to try to ask them for a credit card and say they're a loser if they don't sign up, right? You guys with me? Is that only a Miami thing? Or no? Okay. So nobody wants that, right? So you say, that's a great question, let's find out. You connect them with the person, right? Hey Nathan, I introduce you to my partner Matt. He's helped a lot of people. He's doing really well with this. Hey Matt, listen, I'm with my friend Nathan. He saw the video and he has a few questions on the Facoid, he has a few questions on the opportunity, he has a few questions on the BMW program, he has a few questions on the company, he has a few questions on his market. I want you guys to meet, right? Boom. What's Matt's job? Matt's job is to, connect, number one, because it's all about connecting with people, right? It's a people business. Number two, connect, answer the question. And then his job is to send them to the next step, whether it's go to the website, go to the party, or more information. You guys with me? Yep. Now, once somebody gets started, and this is right before I go to the plan, we're going to bring Matt up. Once somebody gets started, once somebody gets started, guys, I'll tell you one of the most powerful things I've ever seen. How this works out. And if you guys aren't doing it and you apply it, you guys are going to thank me. You'll send me a message on Facebook and say, oh my God, it's like a miracle, right? Once somebody gets in, right? Once somebody gets in, you're going to go through this getting started training. You're going to go, you're going to have them make their list. You're going to have them, book their party. You're going to set up the time to call people with them, right? But once you're done, your job is to do what's called a welcome call. A welcome call is a call after somebody already signed up and you've already gone through the getting started training so they can meet somebody else in the support team. So they can find out there's somebody else that's crazier than you, right? Somebody else that's passionate, that's excited, and that's going to help them accomplish whatever goal they have, right? So a welcome call, if Nathan signs up with me, right, and I introduce him to Matt, Matt's going to connect them. Hey, welcome to the team, excited. Why is it that you joined your team, right? Find out the person's why. Why are you doing this, right? Number two, he's going to say, did you go through the getting started training? Or, a better question is, you make your list, when's your party, when are you guys meeting up to make some phone calls? So if you didn't do it right, or if they didn't understand you, or think it was important, now by Matt saying that, they're like, wow, this must be serious. Wow, so he's holding them accountable. And all of a sudden, people understand that this thing of doing this party within 7 days, right, Doing a party within the next, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days. Within 7 days is important. Meeting tomorrow to make those phone, that's important, right? And everything in between. You guys with me?
Yep.
So I share this with you to set you up for what I'm going to talk about next. All this stuff is important. Right now, to be able to do this blitz, you guys still with me? Yeah. Is everybody? To do this blitz, guys, it's very simple. One thing I've learned, like I mentioned earlier, is that when you want to get something going, it's urgent, massive action. You got to compress time. You got to do what you would normally do in 2, 3, 4, 5 months in a shorter period of time. Because of the fact we have, our month runs from the 15th through the, through the 31st of the other month, right? Because we have that 45 days, it's smart if you're going to do a blitz and go all out, start on the 15th, so you have, all this volume roll over, and you can hit those higher titles, right? It's about creating that story, right? So number one, it all starts with you. It starts with who? You. It starts with you. So number one, if you're going to do this, you've got to have a 100-person callable list. Now, there's people in this room, they're saying, 100 people, I don't even have one. Well, give me your cell phone. I have people tell me all the time, well, I have nobody to talk to. Give me your cell phone. No, but you don't understand. Give me your cell phone. So let's go one by. Why wouldn't you tell this person? Guys, do you understand what we have here at Limu? The product changes everyone's life. We have something for everybody. And number two, the opportunity. You never know what people are going through. I've had a lot of success in this industry, and before my last big success, we went through 2 years of hell. I mean, when the economy tanked, I was with a company before our last company, and economy tanked. They changed a bunch of stuff, and we made a bad move. And for 2 years, we paid for it. I mean, we had more month at the end of our money. I mean, paparazzi knocking our doors. The cars repossessed. We went through what most people have gone through, are still going through today. And don't wish upon it my worst enemy. We went through that, right? And I share that with you because, memories. There's a lot of people struggling, guys. And on the outside, you never know. You know what's the worst thing that could happen? That you come to a meeting like this and you look to the right, and that person that you don't want to call because you weren't too cool, they're too cool, you're too cool for them, or you're embarrassed, they show up next to you. Has that happened to anybody yet? Because it happened to me a couple times. Guys, people don't need to wait for you to qualify for the car or make 100K or 200K. Our mission is to share this. Don't prejudge. That's the worst mistake I've ever seen anybody do. Share it. Don't decide for anyone. You never know who's been praying for something like this. Our job is just to share it. So going back, if you go back to your phone and you think about this in that sense, right? Meaning this is for everybody. Make a 100-person callable list. All we're going to do is ask them, have you heard about the Limu experience? We're going to send them a video. We're going to follow up with them and ask them what they like best about it. 100 people. Can anybody do that? You might recall some people because you invited them differently, right? They might know about Fukoian, but they have no clue what the Limu experience is, right? Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I've heard all kinds of people promoting it differently, right? You might know about Blue Frog, but they don't know about the Limu experience. Make sense? Number two, you've got to commit to 10 experience parties. At least. So how many are part-time here? I'm guessing most people, right? Remember, I don't know who was in the room when I was talking about, do today what others won't so you can have tomorrow what others can't. There's sacrifice involved in this. That's why are you doing this is important, because you're going to have to take some time to do these parties, right? And then number three, I firmly believe you've got to be involved in 10 pre-parties. Now guys, I'm going to give you some good news about this because technology has changed the world. Yes or yes? Yes. There's things called Skype. There's things called FaceTime. Right? Is Hector Salgado here? Yes? Do you mind coming up real quick? Big round of applause for Hector. Big round of applause for Hector. I just want to prove a point that what I've shared with you is not foreign, it works, or whatever. Hector is a 20K from Omaha, Nebraska. First time network marketing, never done it. First time. You know, I'm a big fan of, you know, even though the list says the 25 people are local to your market, I'm like, who do you know? Just talk to everybody. So one of the markets that we started, of many markets that we started, was Puerto Rico. And when I went there, I told everybody, who do you know off the island? Because there's 3.5 million Puerto Ricans in the island, and what, like 4.5 outside of the island? So I mean, Orlando, I mean, there's a lot everywhere. So I just started saying, hey, who do you know outside the island? And one of the gentlemen said, hey, I have a friend that's in Omaha, Nebraska. He's not Puerto Rican, by the way. And he's in Taekwondo, and you know, he's a champion for many years and stuff like that. And so how did that process go? I just want to validate something because technology works too. How did that process go, just generically, real quick?
Well, I met Jose Angel Cholito a year ago, and we spent some time in the Puerto Rico island, and he was so great, and he was something that I can trust, and he posted something on Facebook. We become friends on Facebook, and I saw it, and I called him, and that was on November 26th last year, and we signed out in 15 minutes. We make a three-way call with Ricardo Gomez, and that's it. And I'm so glad, and I'm so happy, and now I have many people from Omaha, Nebraska, sharing the experience, and we are so happy and amazing, and so glad to be here.
Awesome. Big round of applause, Hector. Awesome. I share that with you just to prove a point that, you know, the tools work, right? So you can Skype or FaceTime somebody doing their calls. Be there for them, right? And you can be there. I'm just saying, be there some way, shape, or form. Technology has advanced so much that if you're not there, you know, we have a guy that's 20K, hit 20K, that's serving in the military in South Korea. Now, guys, how's he physically going to do that? How's he going to go to a party? He's constantly on stuff like this, okay? So, 100-person callable list, 10 parties, 10 pre-parties. What does this come out to, guys? If there's 6 weeks, it's about 2 parties a week. Can anybody commit to doing 2 parties a week, right? Now, if you're going to take time to go to these parties, can you do them right and do these pre-parties to make sure that these parties are full? And when people sign up at this party, can you go through a getting started training, make their list, book their parties, so book a party from a party, and set up a time to make these pre-parties. And guys, you can combine these parties. You can combine these pre-parties. These calling time, it's probably funner in a group of 8 people than just 1 person, right? So, you know, people will laugh at other people and challenge each person to keep calling. So you guys get this?
Yep. Yeah.
This 100-person callable list is probably going to lead you 2 to 5 new promoters, and I'm being realistic. Some of you guys may get way more than that, but let's talk real. 2 to 5 people that see it now, right? And if they see it now and you run the play with them, guys, what are the chances of that expanding? It's huge. Now, I'm not talking about your existing teams right now, yet, right? So add that to your existing teams. New blood is the lifeblood of this business, guys. You always have to be promoting. You're always going to be sharing the story. And if you want your team to grow, your team's going to do what you're doing. So if you're not enrolling, they're not enrolling, right? If you're not, doing parties, they're not doing parties, right? So this plan is designed for you to personally do a boost and create a new story outside of your existing team to empower and inspire them. Because if they see you going, they're like, wait for me, right? And it just creates a crazy chain reaction, guys. And so, I'm going to bring up Matt now. There's a contest tied into this, a prize that is very exciting. One of the things with network marketing that I've realized is that people like to have something that they, whether it's a watch or a gadget or something that they won because of an effort, right? And it's also an experience thing, right? You guys came here, it's an experience, right? It's really cold, right? People remember that? No, incredible event, right? But, going on a cruise, going on a trip, I mean, anybody like those things? Yeah. No? Okay, we won't do this. Anybody like those things? Yeah! So without further ado, guys, Matt, you heard Lee introduce me and talk about, us really in general. Incredible servant journey leader, as you guys know. I 4 years ago, when we were going through that big struggle, I firmly believe everything happens for a reason. No test, no testimony, right? But then again, no guts, no glory, right? And this gentleman was like an angel. I was praying for something. I didn't know it was what he had. And it literally changed our life. And 4 months ago, when you know, we were going to make this change, where I said I must change the direction because this company is going in a certain direction. We want to go somewhere else. You know, I didn't have to blink. I didn't have to think twice. You know, I respect him. I admire him. You know, and you know, I knew that, you know, if he was here, there was something there, and it just made it a lot more easier transition. You know, because once I had his belief, you know, believe the fact that he was here. When I saw everything, it just made it that much better, right? So without further ado, guys, please stand up. Big round of applause for Mr. Matt Ward, 500K!
How you guys doing?
Great.
How you guys doing?
Yeah.
I know it's late, but you know, we know that Matt Ward loves some energy, right? Man, you guys look pretty. I mean, for a late night, y'all look really pretty. This is amazing. You guys sacrificed some time tonight, but I promise you it's gonna be worth it because, as Freddie talked about, if you want to have massive success as we do this 45-day run, as we come out of this convention, how many people in this room, by a show of hands, did your belief go up a little bit today, right? I know mine did, right? The stories were absolutely amazing, right? I mean, there were some stories I'm up there, I'm like, oh gosh, you know, I'm like, something's in my eye, you know, I'm like crying a little bit. But these stories of what Leo was doing for average people, you know, I was up on stage and I said, you know, some will, some won't, so what? There's someone on their knees praying for this opportunity. And today was a true testimony of what I said when you're seeing these lives being changed on stage. But how did it all start? How did that person that was on stage today and you heard their story, how did it all start? Someone went through this process and contacted them, right? Isn't that how it happens?
Yeah.
They wouldn't be here if someone didn't reach out to them. Those stories of the person in the military, the guy wanted to have time freedom with his wife, right? The stories of people on our team wanting to have more financial freedom, to get married to the love of their life, right? I mean, the stories were on and on and on. My belief level, even my belief level, I have a lot of belief, went up. That's what's so amazing about these events. So what we want to do is we want to get you guys all together and go over a 45-day run. And I know that some of you will not do this, but I'm hoping and praying that all of you will. I'm praying that all of you will. Because I believe that this opportunity is amazing. And timing is essential to success. Timing is everything when it comes to success. Two things I heard all the time. I bet Freddie did too. All the time in our prior company. Two things I always heard. One, I wish I joined you when you first got started. And the second thing I heard all the time, and I got inboxes, I wish I went to work with you when you got started. I wish I was right there with you and I didn't do anything. I heard it all the time, right? And I'd sit there and lie, oh, it's not too late, come on. No, I'm kidding. But to be at the beginning of something like this, of a momentum wave, right? And you've heard the stories of saying, hey, the wave is coming. And I have this analogy of a surfer, right? If you ever see a surfer out in the ocean waiting for a wave to come, and the wave starts to come, what do they have to start doing to catch the wave? They have to start swimming hard, don't they? And if they don't go swimming, the wave will just pass them by. And that's the same thing that happens when you're creating a momentum wave in network marketing in a company. If you don't go swimming, if you don't go running, and you're not doing these activities, the wave will just pass you by. And you're going to get frustrated, going, how are these people just rising through the ranks? It's because they went swimming. They went swimming hard. So how many people is dedicated to remaking a 100-person callable list? How many, by show of hands, how many of you are dedicated to getting this done, okay? How many of you are dedicated to get your calendars out and schedule 10 experience parties, right? How many of you are dedicated to do that? How many people are dedicated to having 10 pre-parties? Like they said, it's only 2 a week, right? We're not asking you 2 a night, 2 a week, right? If you do this process, we're going to have a lot of fun. And so I'm going to launch some contests and incentives. Anybody excited about maybe hearing about what we're going to do? Because if you know anything about us as a team, we like to do fun things. We like to do not just things that are kind of okay. Like we love to do life-building, life-changing things together. So when you look back 5 years from now, you go, this being a part of this team has been amazing. Not just financially, but doing life together and doing the things and the trips together. That's what we're about, right? That's what the experience is about. That's what this team's about, is that we're going to give you a life-changing experience. And it starts with this. Now, one last thing I'm going to touch on, guys, is if you're doing this and you're personally enrolling people from your 100-person calling list and you're scheduling the experience parties and you're doing these things, what are you going to have in your waiting room? People, right? You're going to have people in your waiting room. What should you do with those people? Right? Brent Balmer talked about it today, right? Contesting. So make sure that you're reaching out to your upline support team and saying, hey, I have people in my waiting room and I want to run some contests to drive some crazy volume, because you're going to want to drive some personal volume when I'm about to launch with you. Are you guys wanting to hear what I'm about to launch with you guys?
Yeah.
All right, so here we go. Here we go. So, the first 10 people that recruit 25 people, you're going to get a gift certificate to Wendy's. I'm kidding. I'm joking. All right. Everybody just runs out screaming, I hate you! Thanks for wasting my time! All right. Is everybody here going to start working out with me?
Yeah.
Everybody? One person, yeah! Everybody's like... All right. I've been calling out some leaders in this company. Haven't I, Brent Balmer? Have I been calling out Brent Balmer? You want to come up here and show your guns yet? Okay. I gave him a hug earlier. He's getting bigger. Right? A faker?
No.
You're going to start working out with us. Yes, you are. All right. Can't be a part of this contest, you know. All right. So here's what we're going to do. This is going to be the first part. This is a 2-part contest, okay? First part. You guys want to write this down. Starting February 15th. Anybody know why we're starting the 15th?
Carryover.
Carryover, you got it. This is going to go till the 28th. Okay? The top 10 people. So this is going to be top 10 people. So this is going to be the top 10 people that produces a minimum of $4,000 in new production. So $4K in new production. And you say, well, what's new production? So if you're here and you have an organization of 50 people, it's not those 50 people producing $4,000 in new volume. That's not new production. New production is if no matter what rank you're at, whether you're brand new or if you're a 20K, 50K, whatever, this is new production, meaning the process that Freddie just went over with you, right, is you personally enrolling someone in the business is new production. And in that person that you enroll, if you get them to 2K VIP, that's new production. If you enroll 2 people in the business and you get 2 people to 2K VIP, you're at the $4,000 in new production. Does this make sense?
Yep.
So this does not count towards the existing organization you have. This is new production. This is new recruits and helping those new recruits go 2K VIP, right? So you help 2 people go 2K VIP, you're at the minimum qualification, but it's the top 10 people with the most, right? $4,000 in volume is the minimum, okay? So the top 10 people, is everybody clear on that?
Yep.
Everybody clear, okay? So what you're going to get is this is the first round, you're going to get a new iPad. New iPad from us, okay? One person's excited? All right. You're going to get a new iPad, right, from us here's the thing about these contest games. These are things that you already need to be doing, right? We're not saying, hey, listen, we just want to go above and beyond and stretch you to do things that you're not supposed to. If you were in that crowd today and you said, how many people here truly are committed to go into 100K in this company? How many are truly like this? You're going to do it. Well, then these are the problems. I'm not asking you to do something you already have to do to go 100K, 20K, 50K, right? These are the things you already have to do. So top 10 people, $4,000 in new production is going to get an iPad. Now the second one is what fires me up. How many people love rubbing sunscreen on yourselves?
I do.
I do. I'll take your I am not. Oh, I ain't running sunscreen on you. I'm just telling you right now. All right. So this one is the long one. So this is the short contest. All right. This is the second one. So this is going to go from February. So this is the second one. This is going to go from February 15th to March 31st. Okay? So this starts on the 15th, and this is going to go to March 31st. Here's what it is. The top 3 20Ks. So the top 3 20K. So if you're not at 20K yet, you need to go 20K. If you're not at 20K yet, you need to go 20K. Okay? So the top 3 20Ks and the top 2 50Ks and above. So 50K, 100K, 200K, right? So top 3 20Ks, if you're not at 20K, you got to be 20K and above to do this contest. And the top 2, 50K and above. Here's what it is. New promoters and new customers count towards volume, by the way, right? So personally new promoters, new customers, all this counts towards new volume. Does that make sense? Yes. Okay, so new customers and new promoters count towards new volume, okay? And here's the bottom line, guys. If you're going to do what Freddy just told you to do, you're going to have success, right? You're going to have success at this. So I hope that you're going to take this serious and you're writing this down. So top 3 20Ks, top 2 50Ks generate the most volume. So it all starts here, right? It's doing this process to win the iPad, and it's going to flow into here. Is going to go on a cruise with us. Yeah. To the Bahamas. So that guy's going for sure. Look at him, you know he's going to win. Look at all that energy. Okay, he's going to go with us on a cruise to the Bahamas. Does that excite anybody, right? That's not the company doing that. That's this team doing that, right? That's outside of the Limu experience and hitting 50K and getting to go on a cruise and stuff like that, right? That's just with our team, right? How cool would it be for all of us to have that team camaraderie, to be able to go with us and to be able to hang out for the weekend on a trip to the Bahamas and be able to pick each other's brains, right? And be able to learn from us and to be able to spend time and build relationships. Is that worth something? Yeah. So that's the contest, right? How many of you are going to win an iPad in this room? Yeah. How many of you are going to go 20K and above? Yeah. And how many are you going to run for that cruise? Yeah. Because I'm telling you, it's going to be epic. If you ever had some fun with us, we are no ordinary cats. If you saw me today, jump around, right? I mean, we have some fun, right? This is not going to be a dry cruise. So we're excited about what's going on, gang, and we are truly, truly humbled and blessed. And all I can say is tomorrow is going to be epic. We're going to have a lot of teammates. We're going to dominate the stage tomorrow on new ranks, and it's going to be absolutely amazing. What's happened already in this team has been amazing. What's going to happen in the next 90 days to 6 months is going to be crazy. Are you guys ready? Yeah. Are you guys ready? Yeah. Awesome, guys. We love you guys. Let's run. Let's do it.